Well, I want to welcome everyone. As I look at these 28, I just think it's 28 years since I've owned the team, so it's sort of good karma. But we've come here to honor an amazing young man. He's a great husband, father, son, and friend and teammate. While at the same time being professional, courteous, reliable, and respectful. And with all the success he's had, he still has remained very humble and kind. And I think the highest compliment anyone could give our friend, Mr. Devin McCourty, I only have sons, but he has a daughter, and he said, he would love to see his daughter marry someone with the character and kind of human being that James White is. And that's pretty special in life, to be around people like that. And I think the credit for that has to go to his beautiful mom, Lisa, and also his dad, beloved, of blessed memory, Sergeant Tyrone. And so I'd like to just take a moment to honor both Lisa and make a presentation to both Lisa and Diana, his lovely wife. We'd like to just give you a memento and a special bouquet. And we will also want to honor Xavier and Sky. His strength of character, we all know, and he's a great ambassador off the field, but on the field as well. And if we think back to Super Bowl 51, I'll never forget, with 2 minutes to go in the third period, the score's 28-3. We had a 99.6% chance to lose, 0.04 to win. And James, in the last 2 minutes in the fourth quarter in the short overtime, scored 20 points, and 2 by rushing, 1 receiving, and a 2-point conversion. And it was something, that Super Bowl 51, to all of us that are Patriot fans, but function in life, it's the greatest message, never to give up, no matter how bad the odds. Think about it. We had a 0.04% chance to win, and we won. And a lot of it was a great team effort, but a lot of it was the effort of this young man. And so I'd like to just ask you to watch a quick film, and then Coach Belichick will chat, and then James will chat, and then maybe take some questions. Thank you.
James White is a running back out of Wisconsin. He is now part of the mix in New England.
James, I know you're going to make a great contribution here. I look forward to meeting you.
James White makes the grab across the 15. Out of attack on the 10. Into the end zone. What an effort by White. James White finds an opening left to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. A first pass to 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots. Makes the catch. Touchdown. Touchdown, Patriots. Catch big by White. Fields win 35-40, 45-50. Cuts left past the 40.
James White is a stud.
Welcome to Super Bowl 51. Catch made by White. Trent to the inside. Dives across the goal line. Direct steps to James White. Runs up the middle. He's in for 2. Hands it to White. Up the middle. Touchdown, Patriots! Second and goal to go from the Atlanta 2. James White is set behind Brady. Toss sweep right for James White. Tucks it under the right arm. Puts it upfield. Driving forward. Diving to the goal line. A touchdown and a title for the Patriots.
I can't believe it.
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Man, it's amazing. It's what you dream about as a kid, to have a chance to win a Super Bowl ring, and to see it in person is really an unbelievable feeling.
And when I think about James White, I think he left a tremendous, tremendous legacy here. Not just for what he did on the field, but when I think about all the things that we hope to embody here, all the things that I hope to embody as a dad, as a husband, as a teammate, as a friend, James embodied all of that.
Just what I think the biggest thing for me with James is, you don't say this too often about people, but he's one of those guys that, like, someday if my daughter found a guy and said, you know, I'm gonna bring home a guy kind of like James White, I'd be excited.
Well, it's certainly been an honor to coach you, James. First exposure really was back in the draft process and the Indy Combine. Those numbers weren't too impressive. Weren't big, weren't fast, didn't jump high, etc. But what those numbers don't measure is intelligence, toughness, heart, teammate, dependability, and longevity, and that overrode all of whatever the other ones were. You had great hands, great quickness, great instinct for the game. Played your best games at the biggest times, most critical situations, third down, 2-minute championship games, Super Bowl games, and the poise and competitiveness that came out in those times were truly exceptional. And so, I think back to our captain's meetings. We've sat through a lot of those, and James is the type of guy that didn't have a lot to say in those meetings, as you could imagine, but what he said was very profound and to the point, and right on the money. And sometimes, we talk about some other things, but he always got to the big thing, the main thing, which, ball security, scoring in the right area, doing our job, picking up the blitz, all the things that were important to winning. Never lost sight of those. So, it's just been a great, really honor for me to have you on our team, to have your leadership, your role model for all of us, not just the other players, but honestly for the coaches, your work ethic, toughness, commitment to the team, something for all of us to emulate and strive to match. And just want to wish you the very, very best going forward. You've had a tremendous career. Very proud to have coached you, very proud of the achievements and accomplishments that you've made for the organization and for what you personally have done for me. Sincerely mean that, and we'll miss you, but we'll never forget the contributions and the standard that you set for us, and that will live on, and those banners that hang up there wouldn't be hanging there without you. So appreciate all you've done for me, the organization, and for our football team. Thanks.
As Coach said, I'm not a man of many words. That probably won't change too much tonight. But I'm extremely grateful to, have played for such a great organization, great owner, great coach for 8 years. That's not very common in this league to, sustain that, that much longevity in one organization. I'm extremely grateful, especially for, these past few months, giving me the opportunity to come back here, when most coaches and owners probably wouldn't have, even given me a chance after dealing with the injury that I have. And I'm really extremely grateful for that opportunity. Met a lot of great teammates, had a lot of great coaches. You guys impacted me more than you ever know. I know I'm not the most vocal person, but I just try and talk to everybody, get to know everybody. You guys have, especially a lot of you older guys, coming in as a young guy, see how much you guys did for this team, the standard that was set. I just think it was the perfect fit for me because the standard that you guys set was a standard that I held myself to on a day-to-day basis, coming from growing up with my family, my dad being a police officer, my mom being a probation specialist. As you know, not much is, not many bad things going on in that house. So, I learned a way to, respect people, be a good human being first, and I think just the way my parents raised me, it helped shape me who I am today. I know just having a great attitude, stepping into the building, having a great attitude on a day-to-day basis, even though, sometimes we wake up, you don't feel like going out on the practice field, all things of that nature, just trying to keep a smile on my face and just push through everything. I think that's what's most important through it all. And I'd just like to thank my wife, too. I know she's with my daughter somewhere. My kids can be a handful, so now that's my full-time job right now is to help with them. And, she sacrificed so much over my 8-year career, even before we had kids, sacrificing time to spend with her family, being here in Massachusetts and things of that nature. So that definitely, I appreciate all her love and support across all those years. And, giving birth to our kids in Massachusetts here. Massachusetts has become a special place to us. It's the place we've known the most as adults, and it's home for us. I mean, we'll be here until I figure out whatever my next job's going to be. So I'll be around and try and come to practice, still get to know you guys, guys like Pierre, Kev, JJ, Damien, all you guys. I love to stay in touch with all you guys, check in, make sure you guys are, keep you on your P's and Q's on everything. I know Coach will do that, but I'll be sure to check in on you guys too, man. But this such a special place, man. I can't really put it into words. Just too many people to thank. So much people that helped me get here to make it to this point. And, I never thought I'd, be going, hanging the cleats up off an injury. I always prided myself on not being in the training room, as most of the trainers may know. I tried to stay away from there as much as possible. So, hey, sometimes you can't control, injuries and things of that nature. Thought I had a few good years left in me, but, sometimes the body tells you differently, and you got to listen to it, so that's for sure. So, excited for you guys, man. Excited to see you guys work this year. Coach, excited to see you guys work this year. I'll be tuned in. And I just appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate all the support over the years. And y'all go ball out this year, man.
Hi, James. Dan Roach from WBZ. Just kind of, when you look back when you were first drafted, what were your hopes and dreams when you first got to New England? And what has it meant to you to be a member of this New England Patriots organization?
First, your hopes and dreams is just to get an opportunity to play in this league, and I got that by being drafted. My first year wasn't very promising. Played in like 3 games, cleanup duty at the end of the game. But that was probably the hardest year of football of my life for sure. Going from Little League, college, you're playing all the time, and then get to the NFL and you're sitting there watching every single game. That was definitely a challenge for me mentally. I think after that year, I just had to look myself in the mirror and just kind of figure out what I could do better. And obviously, if I wasn't out there on the field, the coaches need to see something more from me. So I had to look myself in the mirror, find ways to get better. And eventually it all worked out. I mean, even the second year, I was still, watching games from the sideline for a little bit, but it ended up working out for me. And I was able to do a lot of great things in this league, and very fortunate for that, like I said, and very fortunate not to be injured prior to this point, and had a lot of great experiences. happy I got a chance to be in this organization. Like I said before, like when I was talking, it's the perfect fit for me. It's just a high standard that was already set here, and just walking in here, seeing guys like Dev, Slate, Tom, and things of that nature, seeing all the hard work that they put in over the course of their entire careers, and they're still coming in here, staying in till 6 p.m. or whatever it is to do whatever they can to have success. Just watching those guys, I wanted to be like those guys, so I want to come out here and put my best foot forward as a young guy.
James, Tyler Heaton, Sun Chronicle. I know that you had family when you got drafted in Attleboro, so just remembering the conversation with them saying, I'm going to be playing football right up Route 1, knowing that they've been here since, I think it was 1989. What was that feeling like saying, I'm going to be playing right near you guys? This may be a little more special now that, I have the family ties coming back here.
Oh, it was really cool because I actually been to the stadium, I think in high school, visiting my aunt, my uncle here in Attleboro. So it was familiar territory for me. I'd never been actually in the stadium. I'd been to Patriot Place and things of that nature. But it was really cool to be drafted in a place where I had family. They helped me out a lot when we first got here with me and my wife. So it was definitely a blessing.
Hi, James. Karen Garigian from the Herald. At what point in your comeback or failed comeback did it hit you, or did you finally realize that it just wasn't going to happen?
I'd probably say a couple weeks before training camp. I feel like I hit kind of like a plateau where kind of this is just what my body's going to feel like from here on out from playing football. Do I think I could have went out there and played? Probably. I don't know how good I would have looked, and I don't want to put myself in a position. Well, I don't want to put the team in a position as well for them to be expecting a certain type of player or a certain type of guy they're used to seeing, and for me to go out there and not to be that guy. That'd be hard for me. I know it'd be hard for them to see. So for myself, I just had to make the best decision for myself, my family. I think a lot of things weighed into my decision, not just my hip. I said having a 2- and a 1-year-old, as you can see how wild they can be at times, just to be able to assist my wife at home now and give her the support she needs and allow her to, chase some of her dreams as well. That was kind of my decision as well.
Thank you, James.
No problem.
Nicole Yang with the Boston Globe. What are you thinking for your next chapter? Like, what's on the table? Do you have any interest in coaching?
Yeah, I have interest in coaching for sure. I don't think I might do that right away, as the hours can be very strenuous. But I have interest in coaching, probably doing TV, radio. I love shoes, so getting into shoe design or something like that, that'd be really cool for me too. I have a lot of different interests, but I said I'll just take some time to relax with my family for a little while and figure things out as they go.
Thanks.
Matt Vochar, Mass Live. James, how do you hope people remember you when they look back on your career, and how do you hope that people remember you?
Just a good human being, that first and foremost. Like I said before, that's what I try to pride myself on being, as a respectable person, a dependable person, and an accountable person. That's the way I try to approach each and every day, not just in the building, but just in a way of life. I said that's all I really want people to remember me as, a good human being, a person that was accountable, dependable, I said, and be there for people when they need it most.
Does hearing the things that people have said about you, your teammates, your coaches, is that, you feel like you've been successful in that then?
I guess I could say that. Yeah, it's really, really cool to see all the compliments that I've gotten over the past few days. Like I said, these guys helped shape me who I am, not just the people who I grew up with as a kid. These guys right here, whether it's 1 year, a few weeks, 8 years, they've all impacted me in some sort of way and helped me and shaped me to be the human being that I am today. So extremely grateful for all those guys. Like I said, they're all great people as well.
James, congratulations. Straight Air 7 News in Boston. How much did you visualize in that first year, maybe a moment like today, given how little you played, and to have your head coach, who is self-admitted that he's not an easy guy to play for, say those kind of words about you here today?
Oh, yeah, my first year, I could have probably never imagined standing here. Going into my second year, I said I had to look myself in the mirror, find ways to get better. Like I said, I remember during my rookie year, my agents calling me, like in the middle of the season, like what's going on? Like what's happening out there, things of that nature. I'm like, I'm trying to bust my butt and all that good stuff, but just not getting out there. But like I said, that was the hardest year of football for me, man. It was challenging, but I think I needed to go through that. I know a lot of guys who've gone through, this organization have gone through a similar situation like myself, and it helps you grow as a player and helps you kind of not take things for granted, even though I didn't take things for granted to begin with, but you just cherish things a little bit more when you see what it's like not being able to be out there on the field. So whenever I did get my opportunity, I didn't want to look back.
Hey, James, congratulations. Mike Cadlick from CLNS Media. You've made so many memories for this organization, for the fans, for your teammates. But what's your favorite memory as a member of the New England Patriots?
I think that's pretty simple. Super Bowl 51 for sure. I just think because, like I said, my rookie year I didn't play, and seeing the guys go out there and work their tails off, winning the Super Bowl, and being on the sideline in a sweatsuit, watching the game. For me, I was just itching to be out there and find my way, to help my team win football games. And if I ever got the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna do whatever I can to help my team win. And somehow we ended up back in the Super Bowl 2 years later, and I had my opportunity. I mean, everything was just going right that day by the grace of God, and I said we ended up finding a way to win that football game. So that was just a special moment for me, my teammates, and the fans as well, just something that we all remember for the rest of our lives.
What went through your head when Josh called the toss?
Well, I was extremely exhausted to play before I jogged off the field, and LeGarrette Blount was coming on the field. I was like, bro, just please score. I'm ready for this thing to be over with. When Josh called the toss, I was just like, I got to get in the end zone. I'm extremely exhausted. I'm ready for this to be over with already.
James, what has Robert and the Kraft family and Bill Belichick and the coaching staff, Ivan Fears, the people that you played for, what have they meant to you specifically?
It meant a lot. Like Mr. Kraft, seeing the work that they've done all across, Massachusetts and the New England area, being a young guy walking to this building, something that my dad always preached to me, to whom much is given, much is required. So seeing how much work they do in the community, it impacted me a lot. I know early on in my college career, I didn't do as much community service as I probably should have, and our community service director would always get on me to get out there and do more stuff. And coming here, it was like it's a little bit of the same as what they did in college, just doing as much community service as possible. And I just wanted to find ways that I can impact the community where I'm from, and here in Massachusetts where we play football, just to see the work that they do. I wanted to kind of put my imprint on it and do whatever I can to help around the community. So that's the way Mr. Kraft impacted me. And Coach Belichick, just a genius, awesome football mind. I always try to pride myself on being a smart football player, and every day you come into this building, you're going to learn something new, and you're going to find ways to get better. So he challenged me as a player, and as a person, you learn so much in this building on a day-to-day basis, and extremely grateful to have the opportunity to play for them.
James, Ian Steele, ABC6 Providence. You mentioned off the top just how much of an influence your parents were on you. Can you speak to that a little bit more? And a second question, just how'd you get over your dad passing over the past couple of years?
Like I said, my parents, they raised myself and my brother the right way, and extremely grateful for all the things that they did for us. I always say they did so much for myself and my brother, as far as taking us to camps, workouts, Little League, wearing a trash bag to make weight, and all the diets and all that good stuff. I always say if I didn't make it to this point, it was definitely all my fault, for sure, because they did everything possible to put me in the best position to succeed. The greatest parents I could ever ask for sure. And getting over my dad, you never really get over things like that. You just kind of learn to kind of deal with it in a sense. It's kind of a empty void that, doesn't really go away, but I'm extremely grateful for the way my parents raised me. Told myself I wasn't gonna cry up here, but like I said, they did, more than I could have ever asked for as a kid, and I just learned from them not to take opportunities for granted, not to take things for granted. I know I was blessed with a lot more things than, kids, myself, my friends had growing up. They did whatever they could to help family, my friends, whether it was them living with us, whether it was providing a meal, ride to practice. I learned so much from them, and like I said, my dad, just a special human being. I said, just growing up, all I ever wanted to do was be like, my parents. So, and I just hope I made them proud, and I continue to make them proud. I said, they're the greatest parents I could have ever asked for sure.
Thank you.